Savor the Moment, a conversation with individuals successful in culinary arts and hospitality from Savor Restaurant of the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute. On this edition, Bob Koshinski sits down with Dennis DiPaolo, co-owner of Ilio DiPaolo's restaurant, located at 3785 South Park Avenue in Blasdell, New York. Welcome to Savor the Moment. Bob Koshinski with our guest today, Dennis DiPaolo. And Dennis, it's great to have you come all the way up from Blasdell to the city of Niagara Falls to this beautiful Savor restaurant, the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute. And you've already been given a tour by Assistant Vice President of Academic Affairs, Mark Mastriner.
Oh, Chef is a great tour. What a great facility. You know, it's one of those hidden jewels in Western New York that we have, and it's a totally beautiful place, and I'm so honored that you invited me up here to come up here. So it wasn't that far. It took me 3 days, you know, but I got up here, but from Blasdell. But we had a, oh, it's great. And it's just, you know, it's one of those places you get up here, you know, you got the falls, you got everything, and then you have this great facility. I mean, our students, man, it's like you want to start all over again when you get here.
Well, our cameras were there as Dennis got the tour. Let's take a look.
So Dennis, all our programs here are associate and applied science degrees, 2 years. So, but we have some options for students. They can come traditional fall, spring, summer off, fall, spring. We're starting this fall, we're doing an accelerated 16-month degree option. So the students can start in the fall, spring, summer, fall, and kind of graduate and get out in the industry 5 months early. And it gets them to restaurateurs like yourselves a little earlier and ready to go. With that, we're going to be taking over 100% the restaurant downstairs. It'll be 100% student run. And it also gives the students the opportunity, if they do the 16-month curriculum, to be here in the summertime, high tourist season, to really get a feel for what, you know, a busy volume restaurant would be. And again, our programs here: culinary, pastry, hospitality, wine, and also brewing. And again, it's a wonderful facility here. We have great faculty, all ACF certified chefs, either educator all the way up to executive chef. And they all have their master's degrees, which is something that a lot of schools can't say. So for us, we're really proud of that. But you can see from the facility here, you know, probably one of the best facilities, you know, in the Northeast, if not in the country. We host a lot of corporate trainings here. Delaware North comes in a lot. Wegmans, Rich Products use the facility, have us do some workforce training for them as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So we have an on-site pastry shop. We can take a walk in here now. All product made in-house, all made by our pastry chefs. So we do a mix of some breakfast pastry, dessert pastry, and then gelato. And again, everything is made in-house here. Right now, the product is produced by a mix of our faculty and students and some paid staff members. Coming in the fall, this will be 100% turned over to the students, which is a new concept we're going to be doing. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that as we walk around. But
cakes,
yeah, so those are all dummy cakes or fake cakes that are produced in our specialty cakes class. And students for a final project will get a theme, and they'll have to reproduce that theme in a wedding cake. We have some more back here that the students have worked on. But it's a nice spot here, and again, it's just to try and give the pastry students a little taste, no pun intended, of what it would be like to own and operate a pastry shop. And because, as you know, a lot of them are interested in being, you know, entrepreneurs when they graduate and have their own place. Here we have a 90-seat theater classroom. We'll take a pop in there. So this is our 90-seat theater classroom here. We use it as a mixture of lectures as well as cooking demonstrations. Everything here from a wine tasting class, purchasing and costing class, things of that nature. We have full television recording capabilities here, so we can broadcast. We've had the New York Beef Council in here doing a kind of a teleconference here with some butchering skills for our students, and then also doing a webinar with it to some other schools across the state. So it's a great space to be able to use, and again, it's kind of multi-purpose.
So Dennis, you got the gold plate tour, and
Wow.
I'm guessing you're impressed.
Very impressed. What's from the pastry area to the chef's area, and even watching the young kids preparing and cooking the fettuccine and the dessert. It's remarkable. I mean, what an opportunity, you know, to be young and have this facility here where you can come in and really take a skill. And the thing in our industry, when you have a place like this, it can teach you the basics and how to open it. Whether you own a place someday in the future or work for somebody else, it becomes a valuable asset just on the background and education that you have, and this place just gives you everything.
The Niagara Falls Culinary Institute was created for students who want to find a career in culinary and hospitality, and there's other ways to branch off from that. What are some of the things that, you know, people have come to you, I'm sure, from different walks of life. What are some of the fields that people with this type of background could go into?
I mean, you can do anything from food sales to marketing to, you know, one thing my father used to always say, everybody's got to eat, right? And at some point, I mean, there's all these new kiosks and all these new food samplings and stores and tapas. The whole industry's changed so much through the years. Instead of just a sit-down table, it's a forever changing area. And there's going to be, whether, you know, who'd ever thought I hired a social media manager at the restaurant? Really? But, you know, with food knowledge and different things, but their skills are in social media, getting the name out. I mean, it's just, there's so many things we have. In our hospitality industry, I mean, it's the largest industry in the world. I mean, people, at some point, they figure half of the population in America has worked in some point in the hospitality industry, whether you're in McDonald's or Ilio's or, you know, whatever, you're going to hotels and, you know, look it up in here. I mean, the jobs this provides is just remarkable. So once you get the background like you have here at NCCC in this beautiful facility, I mean, your choices in life are endless.
The culinary program, I mean, the more I've been around the chefs and the instructors, it's almost like taking a chemistry class. I mean, you have to know what goes with what.
Oh, absolutely right. I mean, you know, I learned, you know, back in the days with the ladies, and they took a pinch of this, pinch of that, pinch of this, and it's just like, Mary, how much is that pinch? It's a pinch. I go, no, Mary, can you? So I would measure it with a spoon and put it in there and try to, oh, your pinch is a teaspoon, you know.
Right.
And that's kind of how they knew the taste, they knew the flavor, they had I mean, and that was, you know, that was the learning process. Now, today, they have so much, you know, you're putting things together because there's more spices, there's more things. A lot of the people always learn the spices they had in their region, especially like in Italy, that's what they're known for. And every culture in the world had their spices that they worked with, you know, from the Lebanese and the Palestinians all the way through, that's what they had to work with. Now we have everything here in a melting pot in America here that, you know, you are mixing and matching, and, you know, they could Asian fusion and Italian Filipino blend that we have in Columbus Day. That's like, holy cow. I mean, so yeah, you do have to be a chemist at some point in picking things together.
Now, you got started, you went to Baldwin Wallace, correct?
Yep.
Your brother Michael, who's in the business with you, he went to a culinary institute.
Correct, yeah, he went to the Culinary Institute of America down in there. He went to Ashland Ashland College on a wrestling scholarship, but then he figured, you know what, business isn't really, you know, my thing. I like to cook, you know. And ironic, it wasn't really, when he went there and he had opportunity when he graduated, you know, I might do a cruise ship, I might do this and that, but you know, he decided to join the family business, and, you know, it's everything. So, so it's been we've always called like a family restaurant with a gourmet touch. So, you know, yes, we have still our traditional Italian that we grew up with, and my father's recipes and all that stuff, and Mary and everybody. But now we add that extra gourmet flair of the different things he learned at the culinary, it's a great combination.
And you took business in college, probably without the idea that you were going to end up in your father's business.
Oh, yeah, no, I said, no, Dad, I'm not coming back. I'm not gonna work as hard as you do. Forget that. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And then you start realizing what else is out there. And in this industry, you have an opportunity to be yourself, be your own boss, dictate your own success, you know, instead of someone telling you, hey, you're relocating to Cleveland, Ohio, you're relocating to Dayton. I mean, so there's all different things, and that's when I decided, I said, hey, Dad, I think I'm gonna come home and join the business. And I told him, you know, but I need Tuesdays and Thursday nights off because I have softball, and then we go on a weekend tournament, so I'll need one weekend day off a week. And he said, forget it, you're going to be a failure, so don't even waste your time. So, you know, I said, okay, so, you know, I would change in the van, you know, my softball uniform and hustle back, and it was interesting growing up with the restaurant.
Ilio DiPaolo's restaurant is one of the most successful restaurants in Western New York, and it is truly a family business. And like some of the other restaurateurs that we've talked to, you know, I like to say you stood on the shoulders of a giant. Your dad pretty much learned as he went along because he was a professional wrestler. He knew how to wrestle. Yeah. Cooking, he knew how to eat, and he just figured it out.
Well, it's it. I mean, good common sense. in business practice. I mean, it was all those things, and like that's why when I went to college, you have to go, and I said, Dad, I don't want to go. I can stay here. All my friends either. I think there was only a few of us that went on to college. You know, back in the 70s, the steel plant was bustling. Everybody got jobs at the plants, Ford, GM, Harrison Radio. I mean, so that was a big thing. I said, no, college, no. Because, and I'll tell you why you're going to go to college, because the way I run the business today will not be good 10 years from now. Everything's evolving, so you need to go get a college education and go on from there. And that's like my son who joined us in the business now, the same thing. Ilio, you need to go and learn a whole new business, because the whole model's changing, and you got to be up to it, which he's been, you know, 32 years old now, so he's kind of making his impact on the industry. But that's the beauty of our industry. You're going to work hard. It is a lifestyle, as you know, your jobs are. You just can't do a 40-hour week and say that's it. It's a lifestyle, and but you are your own man or woman.
So I know your way around the front of the restaurant. How much do you go back in the kitchen?
Every day. You know, every day. I'm not on the line all the time to do that, but we all can go back there and do that. I mean, we're dishing out banquets, or we're doing stuff, or wherever it's needed. You know, at a point you get hit, you know, you got to get all hands on deck per se, and then everybody gets back in the kitchen and does their thing. You know, years ago we all grew up, we all had to, you know, do the prep, make the meatballs, the lasagna, and everything else then too. So, I mean, we all can do that. It's just in today's world, it's so demanding to do everything else. I mean, you know, between your emails and texts and all the kind of, it's crazy. Years ago, you just used to have notepads, and they'd hear people you got to call back, and that was it. And you get back to them in a couple of days. There was no rush. Today, they expect immediate responses. And even when you're booking, we do a tremendous banquet business, and people email you for information. They expect it within an hour, and so it's pretty stressful.
A successful restaurant very much becomes part of the community, and Ilio DiPaolo certainly has become part of the West New York community. And in a lot of ways, you've given back, just as we've talked to the Russell Salvatores, the Louis Billetiers, and it's not just because you're all Italian, although Louis says that is part of the culture.
Exactly,
but the Ilio DiPaolo Scholarship has given out over $1 million to high school seniors, and carrying on in the tradition of your father of giving back.
Well, we've been blessed. My father always believed that, you know, the more success you gained in life, the more you contribute back to the people who made that possible. And we've been blessed upon his death when Bud Carpenter, Jim Kelly, and all friends such as yourself all stepped up and said, hey, your father's work's just starting. I go, what do you mean? You know, and that was 24 years ago. And yeah, watch, you know, we're going to really do something special. Nobody knew what a scholarship fund was 24 years ago, you know. And now we've been able to do celebrity chef dinners and our golf tournaments. Everything's a sellout, and the people that believe in what we're doing. And it was the mission was very simple, to reward the future leaders of tomorrow and support those in need in our community that may not have an opportunity. So People Inc. and a lot of mentally disadvantaged organizations, Moving Miracles, Center for Handicapped Children, we do a lot with them, as well as supporting all the schools from Niagara Niagara Falls, all the way through in their programs to the colleges, all the way through so to have future leaders of tomorrow, you know, never forget where they came from.
And we've had a number of scholarship winners go to Niagara County Community College and the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute, so the money's been going to good use.
Yeah, it has been. We've got a couple national champs that won the Ilio DiPaolo Award, and this the one, Rashad Evans, just is going into the Hall of Fame, UFC Hall of Fame. I mean, so this is pretty neat how this whole evolves, and how you never know the kid you help today where he's going to end up tomorrow, and we've had great success in choosing the right kids.
Well, what kind of host would we be if we didn't allow Dennis DiPaolo to sample some of the fine wares here at Savor Restaurant and the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute? So for that, we're going to throw it back to Mark Mistriner and Chef John Pope to see what we'll be sampling today.
Thank you, Bob. I'm here with Chef John Pope, Executive Chef at Savor Restaurant. And Chef, you're preparing a meal today for Mr. Dennis DiPaolo. What do you have down store?
So today I'm making our orchette pasta, which is our vegan dish on the menu currently. We started off by sauteing our vegetables, which are summer squash, zucchini, some asparagus, and some toasted garlic and shallots. From there, we finish it with our pesto, which is vegan, being that it has no cheese in it or anything like that. It's loaded with herbs such as mint and chives and a little bit of basil. And at the very end, we finish it with some lemon just to brighten up the flavors.
Sounds like a great dish.
Nice and refreshing.
All right, Dennis, that looks delicious.
Oh my gosh, definitely. Awesome. Wow. Very good.
Tasty?
Very good, yeah. I like the little orecchietto, the little pasta. You can taste the nice little pepper, nice little the zucchini, the vegetables. What a great dish. Vegan style, huh?
Yes. And what a coincidence that Dennis DiPaolo will get a pasta dish.
You know what? This is great. We're not going anywhere. Where's the vino? Let's go.
Dennis DiPaolo, a guest on Savor the Moment. Dennis, thanks so much for being with us, and all the luck in the future with Ilio DiPaolo's restaurant.
And thank you, Bob, for having me, and all the best here for NCCC. Thank you very much.
I got a feeling this isn't your last trip to the Savor restaurant and the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute.
We'll be back. We'll be back as soon as the tour season's over. We'll come up to relax, no doubt. I'll give you a call. We'll get together.
Okay, very good. We'll see you next time on Savor the Moment.